Well, hey everybody, this is Courtney Twist and Jeff Sutherland here on Broker Rehab. Welcome to the show. And we have Jennifer Sievers today on the show. She is a repeat visitor of mine, and she's out of Gig Harbor, Washington. Is that a cool name, Gig Harbor, or what?
It is, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I want to go there someday. But Jennifer owns a brokerage, her own brokerage. She's an independent broker. So we promised you guys that we'd bring on talent. And we keep doing that. We keep on bringing mega talent onto the show. So today, Courtney and I wanted to kind of interview Jennifer, kind of find out what's going on in her world, what's working, what are some of the challenges that we're all having in this space with all the continuous changes in the real estate market. So Jennifer, real quick, before we get into it, can you give us like a brief bio, what you've been up to for the last, 20, 30 years?
No big deal. No big deal.
Okay, let's see. No, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on the podcast. This is really fun. And I know we do a lot of texting and emailing, but it's actually fun to see your faces and chat with you. I'm an attorney, and I was practicing in criminal law as a prosecutor for 12 years. And it's a really challenging can be soul-crushing, heavy job. And so I was looking for something that would be more, I could still use the same skills of advocacy and education and helping people through a process, but maybe something that was a little more uplifting. And so that is what drove me into real estate. And I started with Keller Williams. It was great education and foundational work for making real estate a career, like that, the longevity of it all being relationship based and not just a turn and burn kind of real estate professional. And so that's how we built our business, and we grew a team. And then eventually, we were kind of looking around, and to be honest, it was during COVID. So everybody was kind of isolated in their own pods, but our team kind of felt like, what are we even getting from the mothership? I mean, we're doing most of this on our own, and why don't we venture out and be independent? So that's how that happened. It was never a goal to begin with. And then we weren't really seeking other people. We just thought we would be ourselves, but we'd be independent. And then we just started attracting other people who wanted to work with us and do the same thing and be a part of that. So that's where we're at. I think Sievers Real Estate now has 15 independent brokers, real estate brokers, and we have a few staff members, and it's been a ride. It's really fun.
And now, Jennifer, didn't you also have a law enforcement background prior to being an attorney, if I remember?
Yep. For a couple of years out of college, I did. I was an Idaho State Trooper. And then
With Jen over here, man. Boy, if you go hire her, she's got like a twofer going on.
I know, right?
And it's a shady situation. She's got you covered.
Totally.
yeah.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome. Wow. What a pass. That's cool. So, well, let's jump into it. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on, in the real estate biz. And so I guess the first question is how are you differentiating yourself and your company? How are you differentiating yourself among such a competitive market? And are you out there trying to attract agents, or are you kind of like happy with what you have? What's your strategy for growth?
Oh, yeah. That's a really good question. And I feel like that's at the core of what you want to do in this larger industry, because there are so many different ways that you can do real estate to be a part of the industry. So we set ourselves apart simply by our core values, I think, community, service, integrity, and growth. And so we want to attract like-minded people who see us active in the community and want to be a part of that. We are a stone's throw from our Chamber of Commerce and also our waterfront businesses. And so we're very involved in what's happening, whether it's 5K runs. We just had one this weekend, the Fool's Run, April Fool's Run. And so we, had a pre-race event here. Then there's the Maritime Parade and Festival. We do Habitat for Humanity builds, but we are visible in that sense. We're a part of the community, and we are trying to attract or hope to attract like-minded people who also want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. There are a lot of agents who, they're content to have a home office, do a great book of business, make a lot of money, and that is fantastic. But they're likely not our people, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. We have more of a work-family situation where we like to collaborate and have fun. We do a lot of training and mentoring and support accountability. And and when I say growth as one of our core values, it's not growth in like we want to reach 150 agent count or anything like that, because it's more important for us to have the right people in our brokerage than 50 people that are not the right people. Because you've been in work environments where it just takes one toxic personality to just really throw it off, if not ruin it altogether. And so we're specific about who we would like to do business with and have affiliate with us. And so in that sense, we're not doing a lot of cold calling and bringing in just anyone. It's people who like our vibe and want to be a part of it.
I love it. I feel like I can relate a little bit since I'm in a smaller rural town. I kind of did it the same way as what you're talking about with just being out in the community. It was almost like branding ourselves, both for business with clients and for, agents that might want to come and work with you. I think what you're doing is great. I love your vibe.
Well, and it kind of feels just like a larger team. You know what I mean? Rather than, yes, everyone is an independent broker, but I think we function much more as a team than a lot of other real estate brokerages do.
Okay. Jeff, do you care if I ask something on that? So that's a really good point because, with a lot of companies, not real estate specific, my husband owns another company and it's W-2. So it's expected when you say, okay, this is what needs to get done, or here's our goals, and they're paid by the hour or whatnot. But when you have brokers and realtors working for you that are all independent, running their own businesses, you brought up that you're very collaborative and you do training and you have a high level of accountability. What has worked for you with that? Because it's sometimes difficult for brokers to actually have a high level of accountability with agents that are all running their business and they're not on their team.
Yes, that is an excellent point, and I think it's one of the biggest challenges, right? And it also changes. So, I would say that when we are first meeting with a potential broker, we want to talk with them about this is kind of the expectation, Obviously, you're not an employee. We can't tell you what to do and when to work, but this is what we are hoping to see and hoping to grow. And then that changed during COVID, right? I don't know about your businesses, but COVID spiked really high for most of us. We had a great book of business without doing a whole lot to gather that business or to prospect, right? There wasn't a lot of that going on, not necessary. After COVID, though, then if you didn't know how to fish or you were out of practice, they weren't jumping in your net, right? And so so we did a lot of training on how to kind of get back into the rhythm of prospecting for business. But honestly, a lot of our brokers and I think other people in the business, they went and got a day job or got some other form of income to supplement what they were doing. And so it does look different now than it did 5 or 6 years ago. And so I do think that the market is on an upward trajectory, but it's so important to teach people the basics of how to fish so that they know how to survive the downturns in the market. So we do try and promote the training and this is a great message for this week, or this is how you can connect with your people this way. And we provide a CRM at no cost to our brokers because we want them to be systematically keeping track and communicating with their friends, family, prospects, past clients on all of that so that they can create a sustainable business. That was a lot of information. Sorry.
No, I think it's great. I mean, it sounds like what I'm hearing is you're empowering your people.
Yes. Trying to
And everything.
Yep. But it is a pain point, right? I mean, it is. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And I mean, I would be lying if I said I love how all of it is going, because that is the challenge.
It's always a challenge, I feel like. I mean, some are just really going to take to it and others won't. And then, you're spending the money on a CRM and it's like, oh, sometimes you're like, oh, they have no skin in the game. Are they using it how I would be using it? No, they are not. Most of them are not usually. And it gets frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I like about your business model, Jennifer, it seems like you're building a cultural fortress around your community of your brokerage, right? And you're doing it so carefully. You're not out there really trying to recruit a bunch of people. If somebody comes to you and they're the right fit, you're probably going to be very selective. And that's why you're protecting your culture. It's amazing. By the way, I read your newsletter every month and it shows the stuff. I read the whole thing and I just love it because you guys are doing stuff that is so cool, so different, so unique in the community. So we can all learn a lot from what you're sharing in that area. You talked about how things have changed since 2020. Boy, have they ever. Most of the people I talked to that were in business then, they thought that was reality. That was not reality. That's what happened in 20 and 21 is probably never going to happen again. And it really wasn't that hard to be successful in real estate in those years. But I guess my other question would be is, besides just the lack of skills that agents have because of that, have you seen any other like legal changes or regulatory changes that have made your job different? Because you're the broker of record, right? You ultimately, I'm guessing you have to sign off on all the documents and contracts. Is anything really changing? Because it sure seems to me, I'm a broker as well. I'm not a compliance broker, but it seems like it's getting just more difficult to transact real estate.
There's always new laws and regulations coming out, and we do try our best to make sure we have trainings on those. And we also communicate in all the different facets. And so we have in-person meetings, and then we have emails and newsletters and text chat group. So we want to make sure that everybody is aware of the changes. Like, you'd have to be hiding under a rock to not get some kind of notification of the changes. Because that's the first step, is if people don't know what they don't know, then they end up getting themselves in trouble, which in turn gets the brokerage in trouble. I'm not our designated broker, but obviously I'm the owner. So it's super important. And I work closely with our designated broker. I wouldn't say that we're feeling any huge regulatory pressure or change in our area. The shift of commission splits being the decision of the seller, and buyer broker having to establish that commission with their buyers. Those are changes that have happened over time. But I don't think that I feel a lot of shift or pressure now necessarily.
Yeah. And just to follow up on that, what I like what you just said is you have different channels of communication, it sounds like, to your agents. And that's really good. Those are systems, right? And those systems work.
Yeah, because you'll find some people are better at checking their email, and some people, they're on the chat all the time, and others have silenced their chat. And so, and some come to the meetings, and some are at the day job that I was referring to. And so you want to make sure to communicate in every facet how, so that people can be representing their clients well. Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's great. I was just thinking, what is it? 7 times? You have to communicate 7 times over to make sure that someone actually hears it. I forget what that rule of thumb is.
Yes. And usually that's in the advertising world, right? You want it to pass someone's face 7 times, but it's the same with training brokers, right?
busy salespeople. I swear, we're like cats you have to herd.
Totally.
Definitely.
So when did you start Sievers Real Estate, Jennifer? When was the year?
2020. I mean,
Okay.
we were a team, a Sievers real estate team, but then we became an independent brokerage in 2020.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So if you were to look back over the last 6 years, would you change anything, or is there something you would have known earlier in this journey?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel very blessed that we've had great people. We've had no catastrophes, no legal, no legal trouble or lawsuits or anything like that. I mean, you throw in a divorce. I've been avoiding that because I started this with my husband and now ex-husband. Now I'm running the show by myself, but I have great support. I don't. But with that caveat, I don't know that there's anything else I would change.
What a story of perseverance, though. Seriously. I mean, you didn't see this coming. And then all of a sudden,
No.
you own the place.
Maybe we don't edit this part out. This is good. People go through life. You have to live life while you're running a business, and you have all these people looking at you as their leader. Like sometimes deer in the headlight. What do I do? How do I do this? And you're having to navigate a really huge thing in your personal life. My hat's off to you. I imagine that was very difficult. And yet here you are, not only persevering, but it appears like maybe stronger than ever. I mean, you seem like pretty much a no, bleep that part. But like you're definitely doing something right for sure.
It is hard because I just got done telling you how involved in the community we are, right? And so the divorce was pretty public too, very, very public. So I bought him out because I didn't know what I wanted to do with the brokerage, but I know that I cared about the people that we worked with enough that I wasn't willing to just flush it down the toilet when we had a personal problem.
Right.
And so I bought him out and then we regrouped, and it has been an amazing journey of personal growth, professional growth, partnership with my director of operations. It is good. It makes me feel good. I love coming to work, but there was a time where I couldn't escape it. It was my personal life and my professional life, and it was really, really tough.
Imagine.
Wow. I mean, so Jennifer, let's just talk a little bit about, people in general. You go through really difficult times. And my guess is in your heart, you had this intention that you knew it would work. You just didn't know how it would work. But deep down, you're like, hey, I want to saddle up with these people that trust in us, and I'm going to move this forward. Was that scary? Or would tell me about some of like the emotions you had as you like went through these and decided you were going to do this? I would be a little scared personally. I mean, tell us about that, right? I think we all can learn from this.
It was very scary not knowing I was going to be a single mom to two boys, and can I afford to be self-employed and have to, pay for the insurance and the house and everything by myself. And then I wanted to continue supporting the few employees that we had and the independent brokers that didn't leave. They stayed with me through it all. I mean, because I'm sure it wasn't just embarrassing for me, or I wasn't the only one under the spotlight. I'm sure there was questions that our brokers had as well. And they weathered the storm with me, and I just feel so blessed. It's heartwarming, really. I'm glad it's over. I wouldn't want to do it again, but yeah, it does feel really amazing to be on this side looking back and realize, what we've been through and where we are now. It's great.
That's so great. And where you are now, where do you think you're going to be in the next year or two? What are some goals for you and your group?
Yeah. I would love to bring on, give or take 10 great producing agents that are like-minded, that really find the community involvement and the service, as valuable as we do. Again, it's not the it's not the model where I just want 10 now or 15 later or 20 then. It's just I would love to get, give or take 10 great fits to join our brokerage and do this together, because it's so much more fun to do it with people.
With people that you really want to work with. I think that's like a perk of when you have your own business. You get to choose who you work with. And it's like that's such a blessing, or it can be.
Yeah. And yeah, we make the rules. And if we want to have a happy hour, we can. If we want to have a barbecue barbecue in the parking lot, we can do that too. It is really neat I never knew I wanted to be a business owner. Honestly, when I was an attorney, I worked for the government, before that, a police officer, I always had government employment and set hours and rules and very regulated. So to have the freedom and flexibility, be able to make the choices, when you're self-employed, it's kind of amazing. I don't think I could go back to a 9-to-5er now. I mean, could you? No.
Although I do say that I have become fairly regulated with my schedule on myself, but no, I don't think I could go work for somebody else anymore after this many years.
Yes, I agree.
I think I'm certifiably unemployable at this point. So, I have to just go back one other thing. I don't know about you guys, but like when you think about really hard times in your life, like when you're in the middle of it, when you're in the middle of the chaos and the long, hard days, you're like, how am I going to do this? But yet when you look back at it, you're like, it wasn't that bad. I don't know if you guys have had that thought process, but I have to wonder, Jennifer, when you were in 2020, all the things that were going crazy in our world, right? And what it must have been like. And did you have a day like where you woke up one day and you're like, this is going to work? Or did you like know it from the very beginning? I mean, was there a pivotal moment in your heart where you're like, I got this. I know I can do this.
I'm not sure if this is going to answer your question directly, but I felt a very distinct, calling sounds like too big, but I felt a purpose in bringing calm and consistency to the workplace and to friends and family. And so really the way that I wanted to show up during that time was to bring people together and bring down the noise, the negativity. And so even though for a time we couldn't, our team, our brokerage couldn't meet together in person, we set up regular Zooms, and then we tried to make them fun. So we would have, prom day, and everyone would show up in their gowns and dresses, and we had we would do different gimmicky things to make it fun when we would show up on Zoom. And we were celebrating some wins one time, and so we met in the evening, and we had drinks, and I ordered DoorDash to deliver dinner to everybody so that we could share a meal even though we were in different places. So trying to keep the consistency and calm within the workplace was one part. But I also noticed, with my neighborhood, there was some neighbors who were really upset. They rightfully so, the husband became unemployed for a bit and was not getting paid, and they were stressing out. And so we called it the Teacher's Lounge, and we would meet in the cul-de-sac every Friday afternoon after doing online school with the kids. And we would sit in a circle of lawn chairs, keeping the distance, and we would enjoy beverages. And just our community, our neighborhood, I don't know about you, but we became much closer during that time. And I wanted to set up the Zoom meetings for family. So I taught my older relatives, including my mom, how to log on to Zoom. And so we could have family. We would play, I'd email everyone a bingo card. And so they would print it out and we would play bingo over Zoom. Anyway, so I don't know if really that was what you were asking, but that's what I felt my job during that time was, to keep our community tight and calm.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you. I almost hate to go back and ask a business question now. This is such a good conversation, but I got to ask you about all this I would call it noise in the marketplace. Zillow and Keller Williams and Compass and Redfin and these different ways to market your listings. We're getting pummeled by all this stuff every day as a real estate community. Is your day-to-day really affected? Or is things changing in your day-to-day leadership of your brokerage? Do you have any thoughts on any of that that's going on in terms of how do independent brokerages position themselves in what's all these alliances that are happening?
Yeah. Nope, doesn't affect my day to day. And like you said, it's noise and sometimes it gets loud. So I just try and turn off the news. Because I will never, as an independent brokerage, we'll never be competing with the people who brokerages that stand out as tech companies or the big franchises and conglomerations. That's not our game. And so I just try and tune it out because I believe that this is a people business. It's a relationship business, and it doesn't require those things. We use some technology, of course. We use AI to help create, do some quick research, create some information, flyers, whatever it is, think big level and, documentation. But we use a CRM, of course, to keep track of our clients and our data as a electronic database. But I don't rely on tech or bots or any of that to do our contacts, our relationship building, because I think a lot of times that turns people off. We all know when we pick up the phone and you hear the whoop, right? Yeah. There's a lot of technology and it's not always a good thing. I think it turns people off sometimes. And so, I try and track it as just kind of a placeholder to know what's going on in the world of real estate, but I'm not letting it get in my way. And similarly, I want to help keep that noise down so that the brokers that I work with don't use it as an excuse. Because you can always look at, the interest rates, the this, the that. There's always an excuse to not do the things you need to do. And I don't want that to be a part of it. So we just try and consistently focus on the relationship building. And I'm sure that your sphere of influence and your past clients are probably your number one source of business. For me, it's 88% of my business. And that's a great business because they already know, like, and trust you, or they were referred to you by someone who knows, likes, and trusts you. It's a great place to be because you don't have to try so hard to work to earn their trust. It's already there. And so, I guess maybe wrong, but I'm not overly concerned with what's happening with the big franchises and businesses in real estate.
Courtney, isn't she a breath of fresh air?
Yes.
I told you, she's very, very talented. She gets it. What do you think about all that she said, Courtney?
No, I think it's great. I mean, you just have to put your head down and do the work. I think I am a big fan of AI. Jeff knows this. I'm really leaning into it and learning and trying to figure out how it can help me grow my business and not, get left behind, I guess you could say. But I do think that you're right in the sense that our industry is a people. It's very relational, and that's something that AI cannot replace or technology cannot replace. And I think that it's going to be more important than ever on those relationships that you're building and authenticity, and that it's really you and not a bot or a fake person in the video or whatnot. And so I think you just have to put your head down and go to work. And while AI and technology can help things and help you be more efficient, some people don't recognize the fact that sometimes you have to work harder in certain phases of your life in order to get to the point where you don't have to work so hard, and you just literally have to work hard. And I think that's the kind of market that we've been in after 20 years in the business. We're in the work hard market, where even those of us that have done a long time are kind of pounding the pavement. And I think sometimes it's appropriate, and we're not entitled to anything, and we got to do the work. And so anyway, that's my 2 cents on my takeaway on what I heard you saying is forget about all that. You just got to do what you need to do and stay in your lane and do it well and take care of your clients.
You know,
Yes, I love I think it should be a hashtag work hard market.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's a work hard market because a lot of people don't understand that. And
Mm-hmm.
AI is a great thing. And I know it can do way more than I know, but to supplement and enhance what we do, make us more efficient, like you're saying, but it doesn't do the work for you.
Mm-mm.
yeah. You know, back in 20 and 21, I knew we were heading this direction. And I'm like, I've worked hard in many other markets in the last 25 years, and I knew this was coming. I'm like, can we just skip this and not have to work so hard again? Because that's where we're at. It's like, some people have to get back into production now and do stuff that they're not used to doing. They got to reinvent themselves a little bit. But yeah, there's a few things that I've been doing in the AI space, which I'm really kind of excited about because I really wanted to learn it. And I didn't want to be as deeply involved in it as some people, but I did want to be able to use it as to be more efficient, right? So one of the things I've been doing, Jennifer, and Courtney knows this. So I started a coaching company with 2 other people, and Courtney was our very first coach that we hired. And it's called Growth Yard Coaching. And we're really excited about it. We got a lot of good stuff going. But I'll start a project in ChatGPT. And when I coach clients, I'll have them do a Myers-Briggs assessment, and I'll have them do a DISC assessment. And I'll have mine in there, and I'll also put my DISC assessment in the source file with the different files that go up into the project. And then I basically ask AI to analyze our personalities and give suggestions on how we can work better together. I mean, that's killer.
That's
I mean,
cool.
that would take me hours, and I couldn't do it actually. And it basically gives a 1-page summary of how does an ESFJ work with an ENTJ, right? And then, so I'm always kind of going back to that as a guiding principle on how I coach people. People love it. So I can basically start to put their P&L in there. I can put their big why, their goals for the year. Everything goes in there, and it's all overlaid with their personality profile. And I can talk about our meetings, put the minutes up in there, and I literally can share a baseline with them where I started. And 90 days later, I can say, this is where we've been, with AI. It's incredible, the stuff in the coaching realm that we're doing with this kind of stuff.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll show it to you anytime you want. You can help your agents. It really helps you kind of even go deeper with the people you work with. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And I love that you're doing exactly that we talked about. You're using AI to enhance your relational activities with other brokers, with people. You're not using it as a substitute for the relationship building. Yeah, I love it. I love that.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun. Is there anything you wish that I would have asked you or you want to talk about that we didn't talk about today, Jennifer? We sure appreciate you for coming on today.
No, I don't think I have anything to add. I really appreciate being included and contributing, whatever I had to contribute. But I love that you're doing this because it is great to learn from other people that are in the space, but in different areas and stages. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you taking the time in this work hard market to join us today.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Awesome. So, Jennifer, just to remind everybody, how can they get a hold of you? And since you are our go-to person in Gig Harbor, Washington, how can we get a hold of you?
Yes. Well, let me give you my email address. It's Jennifer, JENNIFER @SieversRealestate.com.
And Jennifer and I have exchanged one referral, and it's still out there. They're still going to buy, by the way. So this is the beauty of our industry, right? We get to know people around the whole country. What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing. So for Courtney and myself, thank you, Jennifer, for coming today. And I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. And I hope you get a hold of Jennifer. She's an amazing lady. Jennifer, thanks again for coming on here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.